Okay, hi everybody. Welcome back. To those of you who've been with me before, this is Thera-Fitness. To any of you that are joining us for the first time, welcome. I will repeat what I've said before, and that is that Thera-Fitness is a slow-moving class. My focus is on working on your posture, your core conditioning, and breathing. And then we will work on functional activities. So since posture let me back up and remind you that we will be using an ABC system, which is alignment, breathing, and centering. So before any activity that we do, we're going to do our ABCs, and then we will begin the activity. So let's begin with pelvic tilts. And I'm going to turn profile so that you can see what I'm doing. Come forward in your chair. And here's the first part of the ABCs. We're going to work on alignment. And in order to get really good alignment of your spine, part of what needs to happen is that the pelvis, which is down here, needs to tip forward a little bit. Most of us tend to sit with our backs rounded and the pelvis tilted back. So let's begin by getting the pelvis straight up and down. We're going to tip it forward, and you'll see it forms an arch in my back to the center, and tip it back. So I want you to notice that my trunk, all right, my upper body is staying pretty straight. All the movement is taking place around my center, all right? Around, we could say, the belly button area. So again, let's tilt forward, which causes that arch in your back. And I want you to also notice when you have the pelvis tilted forward, it's an opportunity to lift the chest. So you get that nice arching in the back. Let's go back to neutral, or your starting position. And let's rock the pelvis back. Now, this is challenging for a lot of people, and you may feel as if you are not able to get it in the beginning, and you're going to be rocking your body forward and back. But trust me, this is going to eventually become more natural to you. So we're going to do a few more times, putting my hands where you can see the tipping of the pelvis. We're going to tip it forward. Notice the chest lifting, back to the center, and tip it back. So I'm going to turn around now. And I'd like you to keep sitting with this nice, tall posture. And one way to help you get this nice, lengthened posture, which is what we're striving for, is by thinking of lengthening and opening. And why do I say lengthen, open? Because if you really think about lengthening your spine and you exaggerate, so I'll give you a little profile again. When I'm not thinking of lengthening my spine, there's a tendency for it to be rounded. Throughout the back, you'll see it kind of gets flat. Up on the upper part of the back, the thoracic area, it gets rounded. You'll notice that my neck gets a little compressed. So by thinking of lengthening, I want you to really exaggerate that feeling, lengthening. If you really exaggerate it, you're going to feel what we call the core muscles, which are your abdomen, your back, buttock. They will all start tightening up and supporting the spine. So as I'm speaking, again, I want you to be thinking of lengthening and feeling that exaggerated pull through your back, right up to the top of your head. Now, why do I say open? Because a lot of us, when we think of good posture, or if you say to somebody else, stand up straight, very often you get this kind of thing. So the muscles around your neck and shoulders really have nothing to do with good posture. It's just those core muscles that I mentioned that need to be working. So when I say open, essentially what it's doing is telling these muscles around the neck and shoulders, hey guys, you don't have to work. You don't have to do anything. We're just going to sit here, lie here quietly. And I like the image of a silk blouse hanging on a hanger. It's just relaxed and laying there. The wire has that nice form to it, but the blouse just hangs there. So one of the things you can be doing as you go through your day, because the whole purpose of Thera-Fitness and the ABCs is not just to give you exercises that you do while we're together, but actually to change, to improve how you go through your everyday life. Everything you do, you can be maintaining and developing that improved posture. Now, I said there are ABCs, so let's go to the B, which is breathing. Again, a lot of people, when you say breathe, you get a lot of movement up in the chest. So I'd like you, let me catch my own breath. I'd like you to think of lengthening, opening, and just take a gentle breath in through your nose and let your midsection expand. And then slowly exhale through pursed lips or making a hissing sound. So it'll be something like, now I don't know how many of you can hear that. Sometimes I call it leaky tire breathing. And what we're going to be doing is focusing not on that breathing in part, but just on that slow, prolonged exhalation. So as I talk a little bit more, and I do talk a lot, I know that, I want you to be continuing that lengthening, that opening, and now turn your consciousness to your breathing. Become aware of breathing in through your nose and having your midsection expand, and then slowly blowing out through pursed lips or making a hissing sound. So that'll be like, so keep doing your alignment and your breathing. And what I'm going to explain is that the reason I'd like you to focus on and become conscious of prolonging that exhalation is because what you're doing by doing that is getting rid of the stale air that sits in the corner of our lungs. And for people with emphysema or some other issue involving their lungs, very often they do not fully exhale. They do not get rid of all that stale air in the corner of the lungs. There are also secretions, fluid that may sit there, and that fluid can be a source of bacterial growth, bronchitis, pneumonia. So align, take that little breath in through the nose, and let's see how long you can do a slow, prolonged exhalation with pursed lips or hissing out. And just let's give you a few moments to do that. I want to remind you that, again, a tendency is when people blow out that they collapse. I want you to be continuing to be conscious of keeping that lengthened position of your spine even as you blow out. So you've got that little breath in and you're exhaling, but you'll notice that the posture stays vertical. All right. Also, since it looks like I'm spending a lot of time with breathing, I want to mention that speaking is exhalation. It's the air coming out of your lungs through the vocal cords. One way to slow your exhalation down and to make it longer is by slowing your speaking down, which is hard for a lot of us, myself included, slowing your speaking down and getting as many words out on a breath as you can. So the longer you can maintain that exhalation, whether it's by doing a hissing or blowing out sound, or by speaking slowly and getting more words out, the more you can do that, the more you are actually improving your breathing. So now we have alignment, breathing. I want to mention one other thing about breathing, and you already know that I like using imagery. A friend of mine used the image of, imagine yourself filling a balloon with your inhalations. That helps you get the air going down more deeply. And let's do that. So breathe in through the nose. And again, imagine yourself filling a balloon and your slow, prolonged exhalations. All right, I'm going to repeat the pelvic tilt. That's going to be throughout our exercises. So align, breathe, and let yourself tilt the pelvis forward, keeping that vertical alignment. Back to the center. Dip the pelvis back. Back to the center. Okay, you can do that a few times on your own. And like everything else that we do in this class, you want to think about being able to do it throughout your day so it becomes part of how you move. All right, let's do some shoulder circles, either direction you want to go, and you're just going to bring them up and back and down and forward. We'll do about 4 of these, up and back and down and forward. I'm going to give you profile, up and back and down and forward. And then we're going to reverse it. And again, notice that the posture stays vertical, all right? We're not shifting around at all, keeping that vertical alignment. So we're going back and up, forward and down, back and up, forward and down, back and up, forward and down. All right. So now with your right hand, I'm going to use my left, so we have a mirror image here. Left arm up in the air. Try to imagine yourself, I know you can't see my full hand, but imagine yourself putting your fingernails, trying to put your fingernails right through the ceiling. But you are keeping that alignment. The tendency is going to be to look up, but you're going to keep your head straight ahead. All right, and we're going to bring the arm down again. Do this with your left hand. Straight up, keeping your alignment, maintaining your breathing as high as you can. Try to push those fingernails through the ceiling and down slowly. We're going to do this again on the right side, your right side. Stretch up and down. And again, your focus is alignment and breathing. Okay, everything. And I should say right now that anything that causes you pain or discomfort, please do not do it. All right, I can't see you. I can't help you from here. Again, here we go. Stretch up your right arm up to the ceiling and down. You'll notice we're keeping that lengthened, open position. Your left arm up and down. Again, we're going to go with the right arm up, and this time I want you to imagine that you're sliding your hand across the ceiling, trying to mark the ceiling, make a line across it. It's not a big move, just a little bit so you get some stretching on your side. Back to your center and down. Your left arm up. Stretch it across. Again, it's that lengthen. You want to constantly feel yourself lengthening through your spine. Back to the center and down. We're going to do it again on your right side. Up to the ceiling, keeping lengthened, open. Stretch across the ceiling, only as far as you can go comfortably. Back to the center and down. left side. Stretch up, stretch across. And I think you may have heard me say before, this is a wonderful thing to do in a doorway. All right, let's have you sit with your legs wide apart. You're towards the front of the chair. Again, you're going to have to use your judgment for what feels comfortable and what feels safe. I'm going to do this facing forward, and then I'm going to show you profile. So we lengthen, we open, and we're going to bow down towards the floor, trying to move the chest and the belly down to the floor, only as far as you can go comfortably. Stay here. Take a breath in through your nose. As you exhale, see if you can stretch down a little bit closer. I'm going to give you profile. Stay where you are. Okay. So notice that the back is straight, I'm lengthened, and that the head is staying in line with the spine. I'm not looking up. I'm not compressing in the neck. So once more, you're going to breathe in through the nose. And as you exhale, you're going to go a little bit further down if you can. And then slow motion, come back up to sitting. Start by rolling that pelvis back and come straight up to your vertical position. All right, let's do a little bit of stretching the legs, the hamstrings especially, and we'll get the feet and ankles going. So you're sitting on the edge of your chair, your right leg forward, and stretch it forward as far as you can. I'm just going to show you. As far as you can, pressing that knee down. I'm also going to, I think I'll just give you profile here. And let's have you point your toes down. Notice the posture. Flex up. Also notice I'm not looking down at my feet, which is very, very tempting for most of us. Point toes down. Really push them down. Flex them up. And now let's have you make, I'm going to come forward again. Have you make ankle circles. So you can go in, down, out, up, and around again, keeping the leg as straight as you can. Knee staying forward. You don't want to be rocking the whole leg. So we're pointing. Which way are we going? We can go, we were up, let's go down. We'll go in, up, and out. Point down, point in, lift up. One more time, out and down, in and up. Now slow motion, and here again, you know I'm going to sound like a broken record. Keeping that vertical alignment, slow motion, bring the leg back up to your starting position. Let's do a couple of pelvic tilts. So you're going to keep the alignment, tilt. We'll start tilt forward, tilt back, tilt forward. Let's go to neutral. And now your left leg forward. Now, when you're doing the exercises on your own, whether it's your arms, your legs, anything, if there's one side that's easier for you to move than the other, do the easier side first. I call that the teacher side. So that's what you're going to be thinking of. I'm having us do all the same side, but when you're on your own, do the most comfortable side first. So now your right leg is forward, pointing, and the knee as straight as it can be. We're pointing back up, pointing down, flex up, and you want to feel a pull in the back of your knee. Looking straight ahead, point down, flex up. Again, point down, flex up. And now we'll do ankle circles, trying to keep the leg as straight as possible. So let's go turning the toes out, down, in, and up. Again, out, down, in, and up. One more, out, down, in, and up. Now we'll go the other way. Take a nice breath, because you want to make sure you haven't been holding your breath. Okay, let's go the other way. In, down, out, and up. In, down, out, and up. One more time. In, down, out, and up. And before I bring my leg back, I just want to mention that, again, you want to try to find an image that helps you get the biggest and most correct movement possible. So if you imagined having a paintbrush, let's say at the end of your toes, what you are trying to do is paint as large a circle as you can. So as I've said in the beginning of this class, we are a slow motion class. So the slower you do this, the more you can concentrate on having the movement be as full as possible. All right, align, breathe, slow motion. Let's bring the leg back to the starting position. Let's do some shoulder rolls. So we'll go up, back, down, and forward, up, back, down, and forward. The other direction, down, back, up, and forward, down, back, up, and forward. Let's go. I'm going to repeat this exercise. So the legs open. And this time, I'm actually going to give you profile. This time, again, I'm going to have you go lean down. And let me let you catch up with me. So you breathe in. And as you exhale now, I want you to let your arms start sliding down your legs. But you'll notice my back is still staying straight. Breathe in. And as you exhale, see if you can go a little bit further. All right, I happen to be fairly flexible. You don't get extra points for hurting yourself. All right, so please just do what you can do comfortably. One more time, breathe in. And as you exhale, if you can, let your body collapse down without falling out of the chair. So just relax down for a moment. Breathe in. Exhale. Slow motion. Start bringing that pelvis back. Start coming back up to sitting. Nice vertical alignment. Pelvis. Rock forward. Back to neutral. And we're going to come back to, I'm going to come back to facing you. So I want to do some more with the foot and ankle, because our ability to have good balance requires, or is helped when we have the flexibility and strength in our feet, besides other things that we do for balance. So I'm hoping you can see me. You're sitting straight, alignment, breathing. Centering is just focusing on what you're doing as you're doing it. It's so easy to be distracted and be thinking of one thing and having your body do something else. So here we go. What you're going to do, you have your feet directly under you or at 90 degrees. You're going to go up on your toes, all right? And very slowly, you're going to roll. Well, let me go to your right side. You're going to roll to the outside of your right foot, the inside of your left foot. All right, so you may not have the flexibility right now, but this is something to work on. Now I want you to roll your foot forward, up onto your tiptoes again. And this time we're going to roll to the other side. Again, your tendency is going to be probably to slouch. So we always come back to getting that vertical alignment. So here we are on the outside of the left foot, the inside of the right foot. We're rolling up to the center again. And an image that I find helpful for this exercise is imagining that there's a hill or a bump behind the heels of your feet. So that's why I call this the over the hill exercise. So here we are, keeping our alignment, trying to keep the legs as straight as possible, only moving at the feet and ankles. All right, back up to the toes. All right, really, really pressing down, lifting the heels as high as you can, standing on your tippy toes, rolling to the other side. All right, take your time, because again, there are a lot of things I'm having you think about. I'm having you think about your posture, your breathing, and not having everything go in different directions. All right, one more time, up to the center, down to your right. You can speed it up a little bit now. Up to the center, down to your left. Now, this is something that is wonderful for you to do when you're standing, holding on to something. And we'll try holding on to the chair in a minute. But now what we're going to do is come to standing. So if you have one leg that's stronger than the other, let it be a little bit behind you. You're at the edge of your chair. We're going to align, breathe, center. We're going to bow the trunk forward so it starts coming over your legs, and slowly, if you can, press yourself, press the knees back, press the hips forward, come up to standing. And just stand here for a moment and let's do some breathing. Okay, as we get older, there's more of a tendency for our blood pressure to go through changes when we go from sitting to standing. Also, I'm guessing that there are some of you who are prone to having back stiffness when you've been sitting for a long time. So when you do come to standing, get your hands into your waist, keep your head forward, because you never want to be looking up like this. Not that you don't want a rosy attitude, but for the sake of posture, you keep your head straight ahead and just press your hips forward, arch your back, and come up to standing again. For sitting down, you have one leg touching the chair, legs are hip width apart, and to control the downward sitting, I want you to think of pressing your hips back, okay? And just slowly, imagine yourself bowing down. You'll notice I'm not looking up. I'm just letting my head stay in line with the spine. And a nice image is pretend that you've got an egg on the chair or whatever image, so that you really want to land slowly with control. So not only are you developing strength for safe bending and lifting and sitting and standing, but you're also increasing your safety. God forbid, chair isn't behind you and you've been sitting down or plopping down. That's when accidents can happen. So let's do that again. One leg touching the chair. The hips go back. The head stays in line with the spine. So you're going to be thinking of bowing down. You may think that this is going to make you fall by leaning forward like this. But actually, if your hips are going back, and you're going to practice this at home throughout the day, you will see that it's actually a much more controlled and comfortable way to sit and stand. Let's do this one more time with in this case, it's my right leg, but your left leg, or whichever is your stronger leg. Bow forward. Wait a minute. Align. Breathe. center, slow motion, bow forward, bow. You'll feel your weight come over your legs. Start pressing the knees back and the hips forward, hands in the waist, and let's just do a stretch. So while you're standing here, let's switch legs. Let your other leg be the one that's behind you. Now, if you have one leg that's weaker than the other, this is a great way to start strengthening it. So what you would do, because not everybody can sit and stand like I am without holding on. So what you would do is only go as far as you can where you have control and then come back up again. Right? So don't go all the way down, but this is actually a strengthening exercise. And since most of us are sitting and standing throughout the day, you can be strengthening your body with the activities that you're going to be doing anyway. What you're doing differently is you're adding alignment, breathing, centering, and doing things in slow motion so that you can control them. And I'm going all the way down. Okay. So try this another couple of times on your own. And one of the things that I've said throughout is that I'm hoping that using my email or the phone number that I believe you all have, I'd love to start getting your feedback about how you're doing, if you have any questions and things like that. So we're going to come to standing again. Whoops, I made a mistake. All right, I didn't do what I'm asking you to do. Align, breathe, center, slow motion, come to standing. Let's arch the back. Keep the head down and forward so you're not looking back. Okay, let's stand with feet about hip width apart. And this is going to look like sitting. It's the squat. So I'm going to give you profile. And again, you're going to press the hips back. All right. And we want to make sure that the knees don't go over the toes. A lot of people, when they squat, they shove their knees forward. They're saying, but I'm bending my hips and knees. But actually, you're putting a strain on your knees. So when we squat, hips go back, all right, and the knees stay behind the toes. So I'm going to give you this. So we're doing a squat and stand and stretch and squat. This time, we're going to shift our weight to your right, back to the center. Make sure you're keeping your breathing, not straining the neck. I'm looking up at the camera, but you actually would be looking at the floor at this point. Shift your weight to your left leg, and you're probably feeling a certain amount of burn in the quadriceps muscle and your thigh muscle. Stop in your center, back to your right leg, stop in the center, back to your left leg. How many of these you think you can do? Back to the center, your right leg, and you'll notice my spine. You know, I'm trying to stay vertical. I'm not doing the hokey pokey. That's another class. All right, back to the center, last time to your left, back to the center. For standing, you're going to be pressing the knees back, pushing the hips forward, keeping your head forward. All right, and just pressing the hips. You can't really see my head. If I get down here, what I'm doing is arching the back, but the head is staying straight ahead. Okay, so let's have you sit in your chair again, slow motion, one leg touching the chair, either one. Hips go back. You're looking down at the floor. Hips go back, slow motion, slow motion, slow motion. And let's just take a moment to sit and breathe. In through the nose, slowly out through the mouth. Again. And out through the mouth. Now, you may feel like you need to do shoulder rolls or do some kind of stretching that we haven't done. I always want you to listen to your body. I'm going to be doing certain things, but your body may say, oh, I feel like I need a different kind of stretch. I need to do something. So that's something for you to really tune into your body and listen to it and give it what it needs. So it may not need to be breathing. Well, we all need to be breathing, but I think you know what I mean. So let's do some head and neck range of motion. So let's have you align, lengthen, open, chest is lifted, breathing around your center. Your right hand, or whichever hand is easier for you first. No, stop, hold on. I want to do another exercise first. And that is to make sure we get the head on top of the shoulders as well as we can. So I'm going to give you profile. All right, here's my alignment. Now, most people, the average person, if you start looking around, you're going to see that a lot of them have their heads kind of protruding forward. So what we're going to be doing is lengthening, opening, and we're going to work on tucking the head so that we get, in my case, several chins back. So we're going to, let's see if you can stay with me. Going to push the face forward, right? And slow, bring it back to neutral. And see if you can slide it back. So this is called the turtle exercise. Align, breathe, center. Push your face forward, head and face forward. But you notice I'm not bending forward, it's just the head and face. This is something that's really good to do in front of a mirror so you can see exactly what you're doing. Go back to your neutral position and then see if you can get the head to ride back on your trunk. The trunk. All right, back to neutral. Press the face forward. It's not a big movement. Back to neutral and back. When you have pressed your head back as far as you can, you will feel, or what you want to feel is that lifting feeling. All right, some people have used the image of having a string pulling up the back of their heads. If that works for you, fine. Another image that I like is imagining my head being filled with helium, which gives me a nice light feeling. It's not one of real tension. So align, breathe, center, let the face slide forward, back to neutral, and back. So I'm going to turn around again. I'm going to be encouraging you for as long as we're together to really catch yourself during your day. And when you can, just do stop, align, breathe, center, and bring that head back onto your shoulders as much as you can. So now for some neck range of motion, we've got the head in as good a position as possible, high on the trunk. Your right hand, or whichever one's easier, move it towards the opposite side of your head. Gently let your head tip. Now, I don't have a lot of movement in my neck. Had a diving accident when I was 18, and it's an old neck now. So just go as far as you can comfortably. Breathe in. And as you exhale, see if you can just let the head go a little further. Don't force it. This is yoga stretching, where you use your breathing to help. Breathe in through the nose. As you exhale, see if you can go a little further. We're not pulling it down, we're just placing our hand here. And we're keeping that good old postural alignment. Breathe in through the nose. And as you exhale, just see if you can go a little bit further. Slow motion. Release your right hand. Let it down gently and return to your starting position. You may want to do a few shoulder rolls, a few times in one direction, a few times in the other. You're on your own. Okay, your left hand up. Of course, you've aligned your breathing, you're centered. Slow motion, just let your head go as far as it can comfortably. Breathe in through the nose. As you exhale, see if it'll go any further. Again, breathe in through the nose. As you exhale, see if it'll go a little further. You'll notice mine does not go very far. Breathe in through the nose. And as you exhale, see if you can go a little further. You'll notice that the spine, the trunk is staying vertical. All right, slow motion, release your left hand, bring it down, return your head to the starting position, your midsection, mid position. Now we're going to turn the head to the right, to your right. So slow motion, turn the head, take a breath in. As you exhale, see if you can turn a little further, keeping the chin down. You don't want to be looking up, you're looking straight ahead. Chin is staying down. Breathe in through the nose. As you exhale, see if you can go a little further. One more time in through the nose. As you exhale, see if you can go a little further. Slow motion, keeping that vertical alignment. Return to your starting position. You can do a few shoulder rolls. I'm doing 3 one way, 3 the other. Okay. Align. Breathe. Center. Now we're going to turn our head to the left. Okay. Turn the head to the left. Okay. When you've gone as far as you can comfortably, breathe in through the nose. As you exhale, see if you can go a little further. Remember, speaking is exhaling, so I'm listening to my own instructions. Breathe in through the nose. As you exhale, see if you can go a little further. One more time, in through the nose. As you exhale, see if you can go a little further. Slow motion, return to the start. Let's do the forward bend again. So lengthen, open, slow motion, just bow down. Okay, if you can, let your arms reach down to the floor. Just here, you can let your spine round a little bit. Just relax it. Let your head hang down. Again, if you get dizzy or this causes any problems, please don't do it. All right, in slow motion, you can walk your hands up if you need to. Come back up to your vertical position. All right, let's do a little bit of trunk rotation. So we'll turn to the right again. You're sitting straight. Slowly bring one arm around behind you, your right arm behind you. Left arm can be on your right thigh. Lengthen that spine. Breathe in. As you exhale, see if you can turn a little further. So now we're going to try to get more flexibility in the spine. Breathe in through the nose. As you exhale, see if you can go a little further. In through the nose. As you exhale, see if you can go a little further. Slow motion. Return to your center. Let's do a pelvic tip forward. Mid-set, go back to your middle and tip back. Back to neutral. Let's tip the pelvis forward. Back to neutral. Tip back and back to neutral. Now let's have your left hand go over your right knee, right hand back. Sorry, your left hand back. Keeping that posture. Good. We're going to turn as far as you can comfortably. Breathe in through the nose. As you exhale, see if you can go a little further. Keeping the chin down, all right? Your tendency is going to be to want to look up, but just keep the chin tucked. Keep that lengthened feeling. Breathe in through the nose. As you exhale, see if you can go a little further. One more time. Breathe in through the nose. As you exhale, see if you can go a little further. And slow motion back to your starting position. Okay, so we're going to come to standing again. Make sure you're forward on the edge of your chair. Align, breathe, center your ABCs. Slow motion, keeping that lengthened spine. Come to standing. We're going to do a little bit of balance work. So let's see. You can see me. All right. So the same thing that we do in sitting, which is having the that lengthened feeling, we're going to be doing it in standing. And I'm not sure that I can adjust the computer any better. So that's okay. You'll get the idea. For balance, we want to develop more of a perception of really feeling where our weight is on our feet. So the first thing we're going to do is, with your feet just comfortably apart, your knees soft, I want you to, and of course the nice lengthened posture, I want you to just slowly shift your weight forward until you feel it mostly on your toes. Take your time. Again, the tendency is going to be to want to bend. Try to keep yourself as lengthened as possible. All right. Then go back to your middle position. And it's not going to be a big move, but I want you to see if you can shift your weight, let your weight move towards the heels of your feet. All right. Keep that lengthened position. All right. Slowly return to the center. Let's go towards the toes again. And I've said before, this type of exercise is wonderful to do in a doorway, because at least you've got the door frame to catch on to if you do lose your balance. But the whole idea is to see how far you can go and to feel how the weight is shifting on your feet. Back to the center. And the weight goes on the heels. Woo! Okay, back to the center. I'm going to turn to you now. Same thing. Align, breathe, center. Lengthen open. Feet are about hip width apart. And this time we're going to shift the weight to your right. On your own, you go to whichever side is easier for you. And keeping that sense of lengthening is really important here, because the tendency is going to be to kind of bend down. You never want to lose that sense of lengthening. All right. So you want to feel the weight on the right sides of your feet. Go as far as you can without, I don't want a leg picking up. I want both legs on the ground, but I want you to feel how where your weight is on your feet. Return to your center. You might want to do a little back stretch here, just in case you did bend a little bit. All right, let's shift the weight to your left side. Staying nice and vertical. Feeling the weight now on the left side of your feet. It'll be the outside of one foot and the inside of the other. Okay. These are very simple moves, but you know, most of us do our walking and things without really feeling where our feet are. All right, I want to do something else while we're standing that could be helpful for balance. So for those of you who've seen Tai Chi, you know, there's always that, they talk about holding a ball. So I want you to imagine yourself holding a ball, and you're going to slowly turn the ball, keeping your feet flat on the floor, slowly turn the ball over your right side. And you can let your head follow it, so you keep your eyes on the ball. Take a breath in. As you exhale, if you can move the ball a little bit further, fine. Take a breath in. As you exhale, move the ball a little bit further. That's going to be it on this side. Slow motion, really feeling your body, maintaining that alignment back to the center. Okay. You may want to just rock up. Well, you know what? We'll do the back arch. So just do a back arch. All right. Take the ball again. This time you're going to move it up over your left shoulder. Go as far as you can comfortably. Breathe in through the nose. As you exhale, see if you can go a little further. In through the nose. As you exhale, see if you can go a little further. And let's let you come back to center, slow motion, keeping that lengthened position, neck and shoulders are relaxed. Okay, back to the center. And you can put the ball down. All right, so if you're all safe, I want to do another squat exercise. So this time you're a little bit wider than hip width apart. I'm going to give you profile. And I want you to see, well, if you need a chair behind you, then have a chair behind you. But what we're going to be aiming for is your ability to control, as if you were going to pick something up from the floor. Okay, so squatting down, slow motion, coming up, pressing the knees back, the buttock forward. And let's do an arch, keeping the head forward. This is a really functional activity. You may feel kind of sore afterwards, but there we go. Slow motion. And again, you're actually working from your center. So in order to do a good squat, your center, in this case, your hips, go way back. How far down can you go? Controlling it, breathing. The fact that I'm talking, let you know I'm breathing. Slow motion. Pressing the hips forward, the knees back. Getting that lengthened position, neck and shoulders are relaxed. Pressing the hips forward. And now, let's just let you walk it off a little bit. So just walk around wherever you are if you can safely. Now, even though I'm saying walking, I want you to add some consciousness to it. So in other words, we're not just ho-hum walking along, but I want you to be aware of lengthening, opening, and be aware of the heel-toe action of your feet as you walk. Actually, one of the best places to practice or strengthen your feet is on walking on a beach. I have actually worked with children with cerebral palsy, and when they would come back from summer vacations where they had been walking on beaches, their walking was always improved. The other thing, you keep walking, the other thing I want to mention is, especially if you have a history of falls or a fear of falling, the tendency is to kind of tighten things up because you're afraid to move. But I want you to be thinking tall, strong, confident. Think open in here, so we get a little more ability to shift the weight, and that will also help with balance. So we're working on heel toe, I'm going to try to, well, I can't really see you. It's so frustrating. All right, but your nice heel toe, nice lengthened posture. And the other thing to think about is getting taller with every step. That's also going to be helpful. So step tall, step tall. Okay? Good. And be aware and let your hips be free, let your arms be free. So well, actually, let me mention something else. Let your arms swing, and for exercise, practice taking slower, longer steps. Slower, longer steps. All that is going to help with your balance, your coordination. And I can't play music here for a variety of reasons, but a wonderful thing for everybody to do. And you can sit down when you're ready. We'll just finish up here. I just want to say a few last words. A wonderful thing to do is play music. For any of you who have danced, dancing is probably one of the most wonderful things for lifting our spirits as well as for exercise. So before I had to be concerned about playing music that I didn't have rights to, I used to love to put on even meditation music or something like a theme from 2001 and just let the body move freely. All right. You know, my focus in this class is giving you some very practical tools and techniques, but one of the things that's probably ideal for both your body and your mind and your spirit is moving to music, singing if you you know, if you're inclined. And finally, because we're just about at the end, I really would welcome hearing from you. I'd like to know what's working, what doesn't work, what you'd like more of, any particular issues that you'd like me to work on or address. So many things that we can be talking about, and I want to make sure that the class is meeting your needs and your interests. So I'm going to be signing us off for now. Hope to see you next week, and thank you for coming. And that's it. I'll say goodbye.
Thank you, Vicki.